Well, that sure is tragic. Windows. Windows got me again. Oh man, that is so upsetting. At least YouTube didn't split up the VOD. Silver linings, am I right? I really got to figure out why that's happening. I need to determine if that's WesTerm. And if it is, I got to stop using WesTerm, I guess. That's just... It's always when I go to quit the game for some reason. Well, it's not always when I go to quit the game, but sometimes when I go to quit it, machine just takes a dump. What do you do about it? It's totally random. I'm playing the lottery every time I try to just run the damn game. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. Okay, get all my stuff in order here again. Close some of these windows. That Windows thinks I want open. No, I don't. Oh, great. Actually, what the hell happened here? Okay, YouTube did split up the VOD. Well, thanks, YouTube. Real cool of you. We have 10 minutes left. Wow. Well, I'm going to have to probably spend some time figuring out what this is, because it doesn't make any sense to me that we're not triggering some of these print statements. That's just silly. What happened? Did I lose all of my code? Oh no, we moved that down. That's right. Okay, for some reason I thought we had somehow done a miraculous git checkout. Whoops. Yeah, I see that, Jonathan. It's a bummer. YouTube used to be pretty good about connecting the VOD if I started a stream right away, or if I had like drops. But now YouTube isn't doing that. And I don't know, maybe I need to look into that and see if that's like a setting. Because it was saying I was live on the old stream, and then it changed its mind and said that that stream was done. So it's too bad. Let me get Casey back over here. But this is going to be... This half of the VOD will be a lot shorter. Damn, that is annoying. So, well, I guess what I can do... I wonder if there's just something else. Like, maybe this was never written correctly. So it's definitely getting in there. It's just never, it never thinks that they can overlap. And that doesn't make any sense, because the stairwell should definitely be getting pulled in this region. Like, it's an entity in this region. Yeah. Let me pass that to that. Yeah, this is super messed up. Super messed up and super irritating. That the bug is not just jumping out at me. It seems like it should be, but we'll carry on, and if I have to debug it later, then so be it.
That's just totally wrong, if I'm not very much in error. So we have a bug here, because our y value should not be negative. Oh, you know what? It totally can be negative, because these are regions that are overlapping. So yeah, right? Like, that's totally true. We already need the clamp thing. I said we didn't need the clamp thing. You shouldn't listen to me. This is why you don't listen to Casey. Believe the debugger, because the debugger is right. So we've got a situation where a guy can be overlapping the stairwell, right? But his point is not in the stairwell. So it seems like we really do want to clamp the value to the minimum and maximum of the rectangle. So we do want clamped barycentric. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. We would have needed that anyway, so no big deal. Handle overlap. Let's do get clamped barycentric, and we will go ahead and I guess we could also do a. How do I want to do that? I could just do it this way, right? Something like that. I think I like that better. Let's do it that way. So inside the math functions, I'm going to go ahead and do a little clamp function here, which we may want to do something better for in the future, right? In terms of how we implement it. But so what we want to do here is say, all right, we're going to have a result. The result is going to be equal to the value, but if the result is less than the minimum, the result's going to equal the minimum, and similarly, if the result is greater than the maximum, the result's going to equal the maximum, and then we will return the result, right? So I think we could do that faster with SIMD. I don't know if the compiler's smart enough.
Can I just? Do I have to even call it off of? Yeah, I can just call clamp. It's just a straight up Odin built-in, which is pretty neat. But I got to figure out what this proc takes. So let me. What am I doing? Let me see what that is. Clamp. I see nothing about no clamp in here. I guess I could jump into packages and then look for it there. It's been a while since I've had to do this. Here we go, clamp. Takes the min and the max. Casey puts the minimum in front of the V, and so that's what I was wondering, is like, what's the order? So we're gonna have the min, the value followed by the min and then the max. So it's easy. Easy. We just gotta see, well, okay, so what did he define clamp 01 as? Maybe he hasn't written it yet.
So I think we could do that faster with SIMD. I don't know if the compiler's smart enough. It probably is. Who knows these days? And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to introduce a clamp that's specialized, again, for 01, because that's a very common thing that you want to do. So basically, you just pass a value, and that value, sorry, you just pass the value, and that value will automatically have the 0 and the 1 passed with it, like so. And that will be the result of that function.
Yeah, just clamping it between 0 and 1. So super easy. Don't have to do any of that extra code writing, thankfully. Yeah, Devil, we had an issue. I was just complaining about it, where sometimes when I close the game, it could be a combination of things. It could be my editor. It could be like the way that I'm running the shell, or running the game from inside of the editor. It could be my terminal emulator. It could just be that Windows sucks. It could be SDL. Something weird is happening when the game shuts down, and it just caused my whole machine to crash. And it's a bummer because I just don't. There's no rhyme or reason to it, because it would be one thing if it was reproducible and I could change things and somehow it. Yeah, no, it doesn't make any sense that it would complain. Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of anything that would be like obvious for me to go and chase down. I guess one thing I could do is always run it outside of my editor and then just see if it ever happens again. And if it does, that at least rules out my editor, right? That might be the thing to do. I don't want to have to change editors because of a problem so stupid. But then again, it could be the combination of the editor with the emulator. It's always annoying when you get problems like this.
Return result. And then what we'll do is we'll just actually have the, oops, what did I do wrong? Oh, no, that's fine. And then what we'll do is we'll just have this for our various v2, v3, v4s, that sort of things, right? So for now, we'll just go ahead and say, all right, we've got that clamp 01, that will take in a v3, and it will return a v3, and the result.x is just the clamp 01 of the input x. Just clamp each of its elements like so, right? Z, and done. So now we should not have that problem, right? Where's our, oh, there it is. So now our y should be 0. It is. Off we go, right? And now our y is actually coming up a little bit. So let's take a look at what ground actually equals. So when we ask where the ground was, oops, where the ground was originally, it should be 0, right? Because that's what's normally set to. And when we're done with it, the ground is negative 0.52. Is that sensible for our ground? I'm not sure. Let's take a look. Oops. Where is our region? Region P. Its Z is at 0, and its dimensions, yeah, so that is actually reasonable. But that also means our stairwell is probably not positioned quite right, because it looks like where we've actually put our stairwell is in the wrong place. If this is one level, this is one Z level, and this is the next Z level, it looks like the way I did it, oops, was I put the stairwell like that. What we really want the stairwell to do is something more like that, right? So that was a mistake. That's a little bit of a mistake. So let's go ahead and try to fix that mistake. And actually, even to think about it a little further, we really want that stairwell to include a pretty wide, we want it to test for a fairly wide area, but then only actually apply Z from here to here. So what we may want to do is have a separate dimensions for the stairwell and the actual locations where the guy is going to move along, right? But that's, 6 of one, half dozen of the other. All right, so anyway, we now have our stairwell. We need to go in here and see about where we're actually putting it. Add stairwell. Let's find out.
What is going on? Expected a ordered numeric what type to clamp and got oh no, I see, because it's clamping the whole darn thing. It's claiming each of the individual values. So okay, that we aren't there yet, right?
Right. We now have our stairwell.
Okay, so yeah, I just have to fix this error real quick because that's messed up. So we're gonna get this out like that, and then we want to clamp each of these. So yeah, I'm just gonna do this way. It seems pretty sane. We don't want to clear anything new there, so we just do this, and we're gonna do it 3 separate times. Whoa. What? There we go. And then that'll give us each of the coordinates clamped. Not that it matters, because I'm not entering this code at all anyway, because of some stupid bug that I introduced. How could this happen? It's got to be something dumb like... Well, yeah, no, because we never even... Let's see, what was that? Print... It is never saying... somehow we are just not overlapping with any entities. How can that be? I guess we're only checking to see if it's a stairwell. So if I just do this, will we start seeing a bunch of print statements now? Because technically then everything should be overlappable. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it's just really not finding a stairwell inside of the region's entities, and it totally should be. I mean, we're drawing it out. It's right there. It can't be getting drawn out if we're not pulling it in the region. This is just... like, we're not doing anything interesting, right? We're just pulling in... each entity out of the region and then saying, hey, can these overlap? The criteria is so low, there's practically none. It just can't be the same entity, and it can't be, and it has to be a stairwell. Oh, am I checking the wrong one? Oh, man. Oh, that hurts. Yep, that's it. Yep. Yeah. Okay, well, I mean, look. No need to freak out. It didn't take that long to figure out. It's just, oh man, I'm butthurt about that one. Okay, so now we should see that clamped barycentric value getting lerped to create the new ground. Yeah. Right? Nope. Damn it. Still no good. But we did solve at least one part of the problem. Whatever.
We need to go in here and see about where we're actually putting it. Add stairwell. Let's find out. Add stair. And yeah, so that's just, yeah, right. We wanna do a thing basically where when we add this guy, when we get this chunk position from tile position, we want to do an offset of that. So we don't want it centered around the Z level. We want it to be staggered. So I'm going to do just because I can, because I'm the programmer and I get to do whatever I want, is I'm going to go ahead and say that our tile depth in meters here, I'm going to go ahead and say that we're going to offset it, right? So we pass an offset, and the offset is going to be this. So if it's at that Z, we're going to offset it up by half so that it's in the middle there between the two Z layers. That seems like a better plan to me.
Okay, so we're going to do that. And we're going to multiply it by 1/2. Tile depth in meters. And then he's getting rid of it there? No? Okay, so now that just has to take that offset. But we're already doing an offset here. So that's great. Oh, man. Yeah, we did fix part of that bug. Now I got some other error going on here. This is annoying the hell out of me that I'm getting this many issues this close to the end of the stream.
So if we do that, then what we need to do is update that chunk position call. So in our handmade world.h, right, our chunk position from tile position, chunk position from tile position has to take additional offset, right? And the additional offset is just going to be added straight up, right? And
okay, so we're going to call that additional. Where was that? That's in the world code. Add offset, and then just gets added here. And that's all there is to that. What? Okay. Can I just zero that out by default so I don't have to go around and... I think that's gonna work. Yeah. Of course, now our staircase is gone.
This will be defaulting to the null vector, so people who are calling it don't want to do with that at all, they don't have to. So that, I think, would make it a little bit more like what I was expecting to have happen, because now if I restart so that it's in the new place... Oh, it's not showing up, though. Did I offset it somehow too far so it's not included? What did I do? That should still put it, right? That should put it... that should still make it so that it's actually inclusive, right? You know what? We may have one more thing we have to do for our Z. When we actually gather all of our entities, are we actually gathering in the Z bucket properly? And I don't know, right? It's this thing, min chunk p. Yeah, we're not. We're not at all, right? We are purely fabricating that Z value, which is garbage, right? This should actually be looping over all of the Z's that were in our min and max chunk value. So that's a...
I wonder if that solves the problem that I had, but it really doesn't explain at all to me why he was able to get into that breakpoint where he could see the ground value being updated when he walks onto the stair. That really bugs me that doesn't just work, but whatever. Okay, so now we just got to do this and replace all these chunk Y references with chunk Z. So now we have an actual chunk Z to pass in here, I believe. And I think that's pretty much that. Really doubt this fixes my problem, but, well, maybe I didn't do everything right.
Holdover from when we weren't actually doing any Z stuff. So yeah, that's one more thing that we didn't really think of, but is definitely something that needs to happen. Now what I don't know is how we're actually computing these bounds in the first place. The camera origin, the camera region. Not really sure what we did with Z there, right? What did we actually do for camera bounds? So we did a tile in either direction, I guess, or center dim. Yeah, so we did half a tile in either direction. I don't know if that's really what we want, but at least we've done something. So there we go.
Oh no, this just sucks, man. What? I just want to make sure that I was changing the right things here.
And we weren't actually doing any Z stuff. So yeah, that's one more thing that we didn't really think of, but is definitely something that needs to happen.
Yeah, so min chunk B, max chunk B, we're all going over the chunk C. Do I see any other chunk Z references in here? Nope. Well, that's a problem. That's a big problem, because now he's seeing his staircase and I am not. Maybe I missed him doing something else with that additional offset. Additional offset, yep, nope. It's zeroed out by default. I wonder if somehow the order matters. Yeah, I don't think it does. I guess I can make sure that I save that. I know I saved it. We were all there when I did it. Oh man. All this is gonna turn out to be a loss. A big L today. Because we have no staircase, and that's obviously a problem. Well, whatever. I'll figure it out eventually.
Because now if I restart so that it's in the new place, oh, it's not showing. Tile in either direction. I don't know if that's really what we want, but at least we've done something. So there we go. Oh, that's hilarious. So our Z sort of already worked a little bit because it's offsetting those guys by their distance down. So we're actually seeing two levels at the same time now, which is kind of cool. That's funny. I didn't realize that would happen, but it did. So now we're gathering both the entities on the top and the bottom. That's kind of funny. All right, well. So in theory, we should be able to move up and down here, but we don't actually, I don't actually know if we are. So we can't go through there because it's blocked. If we go through the other direction, can we now go through it? No. So let's find out why we're not going up and down here. Let's see. So are we in handle overlap? So we're not actually overlapping this thing. So our test for overlapping must not be actually hitting, right? Our overlap test. What do I want to do to check that? So rectangles intersect. How are we doing our test? So that, you know, it's a pretty tight thing that I asked it to do, and it's probably not how, like I said, we'd want a wider range for doing that inclusion testing. Because if the guy's right on the Z value, then, you know, that's a little bit iffy, but at the same time, he should be right at Z equals 0, right? And so if he's right at Z equals 0, that test should still be passing. So I kind of want to see why it isn't. Let's just go a quick second into the Q&A, because I just want to see, before we end for the day and pick up that debugging tomorrow, I just want to see what exactly was happening there. So I set a breakpoint in the hero code, and go ahead and run that. I'm going to go ahead and now see when we step into that move entity call, I'm going to go ahead and see what's happening with the overlap test such that it fails, right? So we come in here, and we're going to do this right down here, so right here. So let's go ahead and do that, and the can overlap thing should happen. There we go. And now we should...
I just want to look at what he's got going on here, because we added that code basically at the beginning of today's episode, and I feel like I must have done something wrong here. Rect center dim is on the test entities position and dimension. Yep. We've got the test entity rectangle coming out of that. We check to see if the entity rect. Oh, this is actually written. last week, I think. But all of that looks totally right. We really haven't changed any of that other than adding in can overlap, which, yeah, checks the test entity because we want to see if the mover can move into that entity and overlap with it. But then maybe the dimensions are wrong. When we go to add stair, oh, well, yeah, no, that should be fine. Yeah, no, that looks correct. So we're basically just not getting in here. Oh, same exact bug. Damn it. Damn it. Well, this doesn't fix the problem. So that fixes one problem, but I still have this other problem where it won't even draw. Because of reasons I don't understand. But now, presumably, that we're testing this correctly. Yeah, we're calculating this twice now. I feel like the test entity rec should just be passed in. Right? Because it's the same thing here. But that aside, we just have this. I think this will work. Well, one thing I can try is if I add stair the same way we were doing it before. Right? Now, maybe this will take care of us in the, yeah. Okay, so we do print out where we're at, although that shouldn't this be clamped? XYZ, XYZ. Oh, well, these values are going to be clamped, but the lerp that we do won't be, right? Because we're going from the region. Yeah. Well, that is at least happening the way it should be, but can't account for this add stair problem having been introduced. So, but that means there's only one issue for me to solve, I think. You can't debug in Odin like Casey does in Visual Studio. I can. I just haven't gone through the trouble of setting up a debugger, and that's on me for being lazy. But the the print debugging has been okay. I don't know that even using a debugger would have helped me catch those, because I was just like confusion over Casey just naming things weirdly. Like he was calling the entity a region, a simulation region, which just totally warped my thinking of what was going on and made me confused early on, and I've been paying the price ever since. But this issue right here is unrelated to that. I don't even totally understand why he did this way. But for whatever reason, well, maybe there was something else going on with this calculation and I just missed it. Anyway, we'll just wrap this up real quick.
Should be testing against the stairwell, right? So let's just double check that that's what we're doing. So the entity type is the hero. The test entity type should be the stairwell. So there we go. So let's see what our two rectangles are. So there's our entity rect. There's our test entity rect. And let's see. So the problem is our entity is slightly below the Z line because he hasn't been, okay, so that's the problem. The entity had gone below the Z line, right, because he hasn't been clipped yet. And so he doesn't hit the stairwell, which I guess is going upwards, right, and is placed at Z equals 0. So it's worth noting that this is kind of a tricky situation, right? If we're, this is, again, sort of underscores the trickiness of semantic Z handling, where we're basically saying, all right, we don't really have a concept of ground. You're just kind of walking along it. And so I wonder if we need to do something where, like, that ground support, I mean, that sort of argues for doing the test at the beginning, and picking the ground support based on that somehow, right? And I don't know if that's, I mean, that's the cheesy situation. That was where I had it originally. I don't know if that's such a good idea, because it seems like you want to end him on the ground where he is. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the right fix is for that yet. Because again, I want something that feels solid to me. I don't want a super janky concept of where the ground is. So, you know, that starts to sort of feel like to me that I need a little bit more of an intelligent sort of handling for that groundness. And maybe the Z needs to be dealt with a little differently. Like maybe it was a mistake to integrate the Z in here. Maybe we don't want Z motion in there. Maybe we always want two-dimensional updates, and we don't do three-dimensional updates, and then we handle Z after the fact. I don't know. The trivial solution here, obviously, is to make the stairwells a little bit bigger, right? The super cheesy thing is we just make the stairwells handle that, but that's really lame. You know what I'm saying? But that would do it for now. So if I did add a stair where we do this, if we made this a little bit bigger, so instead of it only being that long, you know, it's a little larger, right?
So, yeah, I'm glad that he showed that code. Go back over here. But it sure looks like this is not my problem. The problem is somewhere else, because this looks the same on his end. We multiply the game world's tile depth in meters by 1/2. And I guess unless that is, maybe that's not being set anywhere, actually. Tile side in meters. Yeah, so I mean, it sure looks like it's being set. That is really annoying. Really, really annoying. Because it means that there's a bug in some other code that I haven't touched in a while, which of course is going to make it harder to track down.
I don't know what to do. Casey, this is extremely not cool. Figure out a better ground update solution. I believe that would fix our problem there, right? Let's see here. Yeah, so there we go. And now we're actually lerping properly. Of course, yeah. Whoa, what's going on there? There we go. So let's see. So we can't go through here now. And then let's see if we can walk up the stairs. Is that up the stairs or is that down the stairs? I don't know which way the stairs go. I have to think about that. I assume.
You know, the other problem that we're having is that I'm not seeing the Z level above me on my end. And that's not supposed to be happening, right? Like, I should be, since we updated this code, it should be pulling in, well, did he change, oh man, maybe that was my problem the whole time. When he goes to change that code, did he just put a default value of 1 in? Because right here, it looks like we're setting the chunk Z to be 0. Oh, here's another problem. This should be Y. And so should this. So actually, maybe that was my whole problem. Totally seems like it could be. Nope. Okay. Well, it was worth a shot. Max X, max Y, min X, min Y. Okay, that looks fine now, but if I change that to 1. Well, it should be -1, not 1. Yeah, because that, okay, so well now we have our stair, but we lost everything else. Okay, so if I just do that, now maybe we'll be good. Okay, so I got the stair now, but we still don't see the top level. Maybe this number should just be a bit bigger. It feels like our chunk Z is pretty... It feels like it's smaller than it should be. Yeah, I'm still not seeing that next level of trees. So there's something else just messed up, but at least I can see the staircase, I guess. I don't know. Got a very angry child out there. Okay, let's wrap it up.
Or center dim. Yeah, so we did half a tile in either direction. I don't know if that's really what we want, but at least we've done something. So there we go. Oh, that's hilarious. So our Z sort of already...
And I messed up. I didn't go back to where I was. Where were we?
So we're still not quite doing what we want. Let me see what happens when we do our alert. What's the ground value? 0 it should be, right? And we do it at 7. So we should be going up. Let's see what happens. Oh, well, that's one more thing we have to finish before. All right, promise this is the last thing, but I just want to see if this works. So yeah, we actually need to use our ground value, to say the least. All right.
No.
So.
Okay, well, I surely have that problem then too. But this other issue with not pulling things in correctly is surely not good. So we do that, and then we set that to that. And hopefully we're good, minus that chunk inclusion bug.
So let's see here. Does that work? Oops. And the stairwell does go up in the up direction at the moment. So there we go. Let's see here. So that goes up and that goes down in theory, right? I wish I'm gonna need some way of telling, because I can't really tell at all what's going on since we have no rendering. Yeah. So that definitely, I mean, he's moving up. You can even see him move up, right? But for some reason, I can't go through here. Oh, you know why? I guess because these entities are not being three-dimensionally hit tested. So that's the next thing we have to do. Because if we have entities on here, we need them to actually be 3D hit tested. All right, so we're getting closer. This is kind of interesting.
So I don't think I am seeing that at all. But I guess I'll go ahead and check. Like his player hero is elevating a little bit. Oh, I am. Oh, wait, what? I do not understand. It's like it's being... like it must be even taller then. This points to the map into chunk space. What are we doing with the Z? Because it seems just wrong. Chunk dim in meters. Where's that being set? It's set to the height of a tile side in meters. And that just seems... Should it just be tiles per chunk? Should these all be the same? No. What the? I'm gone. Okay. Well, I definitely wasn't the problem. Oh, that's just really strange. But okay. Yeah, now we can fall down there. I don't get it. It's almost as if we're not getting like the Z displacement. I think that's what it is. We're not getting the same Z displacement, and so it actually is showing, it's including both sets of trees correctly at both levels, but they're just like right on top of each other, and the Z just isn't being rendered. So maybe we're pulling things in fine, it's just we're not drawing them at the right Z level, which means I just need to pass in the Z correctly when we go to draw. I think that could be it. So if I do this again, and we go up. Yeah. So I think that's all it is. I think there it's like it actually is drawing both levels, but we're not seeing both levels because I'm not doing anything to draw the Z when we go in to draw the wall. Mighty, do you need to itch so loud? So there's the alignment and then the offset. What? Okay, so the offset is just set to 0 right now, and it should probably be no. I get the feeling that this shouldn't be 0, but yeah, no, because when we come down here to draw it, yeah, maybe that's it. Yeah, something about this seems off because we're just not drawing the Z correctly. So I think that's where I'll look, and I'll hopefully narrow it down and have a solve by Wednesday, because I think that's all the issue is. I've just got something in here where we're doing the draw not correctly. In fact, if you look over here, we're not passing in the Z at all to draw a bitmap. But why would Casey's code be any different? Pretty... Oh no, because this is a V2. So yeah, it should be getting thrown into the Y here. This seems wrong. Yeah. This is where I need to look, though. I think it's right here. This calculation is just bad. Or maybe the Z coefficient is messed up. Yeah, I mean, that's not even... I think this is zeroing it out. I think this is supposed to just be this. I'm just going to give it a shot, and we'll see. Not optimistic that's actually the problem, but... Yeah, no, that wasn't it. Anyway, I'm pretty close to it now. I feel better about it.
It's going to be really kind of fun for me because, like I said, I've never done a game that was purely 2D before. It's kind of fun working out how I want to handle things when you don't have actual 3D. You have kind of like pseudo 3D, and you want some amount of 3D, but you don't want it all. You don't want to have to go and actually have meshes in there for everything. It's pretty interesting. So yeah, so what's happening there is these entities are still blocking. So you need to kind of, like, you can imagine that test in here where we do the collision testing. We're testing against entities that are below you, and we're only doing two-dimensional collision testing. So no matter how far below it was, it's not going to actually work, right? And so you can almost think of it as like, you know, the sort of weird version is like this, right? Entity PZ, right? Assuming that they're on the same Z plane, then they can actually be considered colliding with each other. Otherwise, they're not allowed to, right? Or something like this. Oops, that was a mistake.
I guess I should go ahead and throw that in there. Where is that? Can collide. So not only are they collidable, so to speak, but they're also required to be on the same Z plane.
So if we did that, then in theory, you know, you can do this and then walk through like so. And then if we wanted to go back down, we'd do that. And well, that didn't work either. That is how I would go back down, right? There we go. Guess I just didn't quite do it right. Yeah, so pretty janky. You know, we've got a ways to go. Let's put it that way. But at least we're sort of getting there, right? We've got a little bit more happening now. And it's a little bit weird how this works, so we're going to have to kind of... yeah, so basically, the other thing that we have here is, since gravity is letting the guy go down, we're not actually moving the guy down, we're just setting that ground and letting him sink through it, it's really more like letting him sink into the stairwell, which is why if you run over it quickly, you don't actually go down a level. And so we also probably want to treat it like a real stairwell and not have that ridiculousness happen, right? Because that's just kind of dumb. But that's kind of fun. So that's interesting. All right, I need to go to the Q&A. I'm kind of interested in here. Like I said, it's some parts I'm going to get a little carried away with because, like I said, if it's something that I don't normally work with on a day-to-day basis, then it actually becomes kind of intriguing to me too, and I'm liable to kind of get carried away. So
all right, well, that's that. It's too bad that we have this one little bug with, I mean, I don't even know if I would call it a bug. It is a bug because those trees on that next level should not be getting drawn over the top of the tree. Like they, you know, what we have here is a totally separate room that we're climbing up into, right? But we can't actually see it because the trees are all being rendered in the exact same spot. And it just means that whatever that Z coefficient is, however we're throwing that together, I've got some dumb bug in there from when we split out the rendering, well, the drawing out of the preparation for all of the render group, right, or whatever. So let me find that spot. Yeah, right here. To do fix drawing in Z. So that's my to do for Wednesday. I'll come back and I doubt it's a very interesting explanation for why it's wrong. It's just one of these values that I'm using here is not being set right. So I will get that solved. And like I said at the beginning of the stream, well, in the first half, because we got split up again, just figures. But I'm going to do a Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule for a bit and see how I like that. So I'll be back on Wednesday this week to pick up where we left off and start day 75. So thanks for hanging in there with me, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.